everybody, Sol here, and I just need a moment of your time before I start the review. You may be wondering how you, humble viewer, can help support this show directly. Well, you can contribute to my lovely Patreon, that's how. On my Patreon, I have a whole whack load of fantastic rewards and various donation tiers. These rewards range from getting your name in the credits of every Eye of Sol review, to a private Google Hangout chat with me and other donators, to a personalized, signed and laminated piece of art from the show sent to the address of your choosing, and at the top tiers, you can request anything animated for me to review. Let's face it guys, YouTube isn't what it used to be. With your help, we can bypass the stupid, lame systems that YouTube uses to cheat money out of the hardworking people who upload to their website every single day. And you can rest assured that 100% of your donation goes directly towards producing the show. I mean, come on. Would I lie to you? So if you'd like to check out my Patreon page, it's listed in the description below, as well as on the end card at the end of the review. And now then, on with the review. Sol here. I have only one rule here. If it's animated, I'll comment on it. Do you remember a time back when ninjas were everywhere? It seemed like no matter where you look, it was like ninja this and ninja that. Ninja fucking everything. Like zombies and vampires and Steve Urkel before them, it just seemed like everywhere you looked, you couldn't escape the ninjas. That was like a fucking decade ago at this point, but still, it's pretty annoying, so it kind of goes without saying that my perception of ninjas was kind of soured in the media, considering that they were never depicted right anyway. So how fortunate it is that I get to review a series that isn't just about ninjas, it's about Lego ninjas. Lucky me, right? Anyway, enough of the preamble, because today we're going to be taking a look at Lego Ninjago, Masters of Spinjitzu. So get your ninja powers going, everyone. Lego Ninjago, Masters of Spinjitzu is a Danish 3D animated series based off of the Lego brand of building block toys, created by Michael Hegner and produced by Will Films APS and the Lego Group. The series aired on Cartoon Network in 2011 and is currently airing with a total of 8 seasons and 84 episodes, with the 9th season slated to air sometime next year. An extensive line of toys, books, and video games have been released to coincide with every season of the show, and a feature film of the property produced by Animal Logic was also released in September 2017. Now, because honesty is my #1 priority, I do just want to give a little bit of disclosure here. I have become casual acquaintances with one of the producers of Lego Ninjago Masters of Spinjitzu since I started watching it for review, and I do a small amount of volunteer proofreading work for him on the side. However, our casual acquaintanceship would not influence my opinions or critiques on this review in any way whatsoever. Just doesn't influence it at all. Nice guy, but doesn't influence it at all. I just want to say that to cover my ass, just in case everyone's like, oh, you guys talk on Twitter. It's nothing. It's not part of it, okay? Anyway, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. So let's get down to the ninja nitty-gritty with a look at Lego Ninjago, Masters of Spinjitzu. Hey, ninjas are cool, right? Well, that's the plot. Actually, that's not true. There are plots. Yes, plots, plural, as in each season has its own overarching plot, so describing them isn't going to be easy. Instead, I'm just going to describe the very basic premise. In the East Asian style land of Ninjago, an old wise man by the name of Sensei Wu gathers a team of talented and powerful young men to become Spinjitzu masters. What is Spinjitzu, you ask? Well, it's when you spin around really fast and you... well, that's basically it. Each of the boys is associated with a certain element, with the hot-headed Kai being the fire ninja, the loudmouth Jay being the lightning ninja, the measured Cole being the earth ninja, and the intelligent Zane being the ice ninja. The ninja, who add more members to their group over time, must defend Ninjago from a constant barrage of villains while they grow as people and form a real, lasting brotherhood. What I appreciate about this plot is that, even though it admittedly is not very compelling on its own, it does literally everything it can to eschew the typical ninjas are cool, lazy non-narrative that much more terrible writers might tolerate. Instead, the show throws as many curveballs and as much character building as it can to compensate for its somewhat flimsy premise, which not only keeps it from being boring, but makes it goddamn investing. Oh my god, it's almost like when you try hard to make people care, you can actually make people care. Wow! That might sound like it's completely obvious to you and me, but to a lot of cartoon writers out there, it might as well be as foreign a concept as Latin rocket science. I mean, there's a lot of hacks out there, people. Just remember, a hack a day keeps the interest away. Okay, since there's a shitload of characters to go through, we're gonna use my patented basic summary method so I don't waste your guys' time. That's right, it keeps comprehension high and effort low. Uh-oh. I hope I'm not becoming one of those hacks I was just talking about. To compensate, here's a super flashy, completely unnecessary transition. Alright, so to jump up, kick back, whip around, and spin into it, we have Kai, the arrogant and temperamental master of fire. Kai can be jerky and self-centered at times, but he keeps the flames of his brotherhood with the other ninja burning strong, even in trying times. Luckily, Kai never steps over the boundary of the territory of the obnoxious monsters for me, and that's a big relief. Can't say that much about Jay though, who is the vociferous master of lightning. Jay is the quote-unquote funny guy, and while I won't say he doesn't have any funny lines, he does often deflate a scene with his belly aching and quippiness. Next is Cole, the strong-willed and strong-hearted master of Earth. Cole is by far my favorite character, since he's always kinda getting the raw end of the deal. He's often the excludee of the group, but he never lets it get to him. He's resourceful, kind, strong, level-headed, self-sacrificing, he's got great hair, a nice six-pack. Sorry, just got a little bit carried away there. We have a lot more to say, actually. Coming up next is Zane, the intellectual of the ninja, whose calm nature and steady nerves make him the perfect companion. He's also a robot, but that's actually not as big a deal as you might think. Zane's a cool bastard.
Pun definitely intended.
And he's always fun to be with in any situation. Okay, speeding up a bit here now, there's Lloyd Garmadon, who starts out as a bratty, annoying little kid, but through some circumstances, he grows up quickly and joins the ninja team as the fabled Green Ninja, who has the magnificent power of green! Actually, it's energy, I'm just twisting your tits. Lloyd does come into his own as the series progresses, and he certainly isn't a whiny bitch, that's for sure. And why did I say that, you might ask? Well, it will all be made clear in time, my dear ones. For now, let's wrap this up with Sensei Wu, the ninja's mentor, who is also a master of Spinjitzu and brother of the evil villain Lord Garmadon. Wu does manage to avoid the eccentric old guy trope that one might associate with him by his appearances, and he is likable enough. Not stern enough to be a prick, but not loopy enough to be a breakfast cereal. In fact, none of the characters in this series are flat out unlikable, and they truly do have a well-defined and entertaining dynamic, managing to avoid any sort of stereotypes you might expect from them on surface level. Which is great for me! That calls for a celebration! I had a spare one left over from my 3rd year anniversary video. Anyway, I know I'm leaving out characters like Nia and Masako and some of the awesome and not so awesome villains, but you know, it's just kinda unnecessary and we got a strict timetable to adhere to, people, so I just don't have time for it. Besides, my train is almost here anyway. At Good Things Station. Boy, that was a long way to go for that joke. Alright folks, prepare your buckets, because I'm about to expunge a load of complimentary chunder onto this series like the starving baby bird it is. But what compliment should I heave up first? Well, let's start with something you may not expect me to say, given the circumstances, but I have tremendous respect for this series. Why? Well, there are so many reasons, one of which is the fact that it's got some serious balls for a kids animated series starring fucking Lego Ninja. The closest thing I could compare it to is actually Samurai Jack, since both series thrive on their use of drama and negative reinforcement to further their stories and develop their characters, which always tickles my grateful ganglions quite a lot, yes indeed. Especially because it knows how to take itself seriously without becoming silly for doing so, and have a refreshing amount of self-awareness to keep shutting up the expectations swirling in my snarky reviewer brain. In fact, basically everything you would expect this series to do, it does the complete opposite. This series has big, season-long build-ups that often end with huge climactic battles that are bolstered by their absolutely fantastic score and masterful sound design. In addition to the surprisingly sophisticated 3D camera work that keeps all the action high-paced and exciting, even though all the violence is mostly implied. Basically, what I'm saying is that this series' biggest strength is in its presentation in spite of its limitations. I mean, think about it. It's a series designed to sell toys about ninjas with magic-like powers and dragons and big bad guys who want to take over all of Ninjago on a weekly basis for whatever reason. Doesn't that sound like a recipe for complete and utter mediocrity? But this series takes everything that potentially could have made it weaker and turns it on its head to not only strengthen itself, but make it undeniably engaging. And trust me, nobody is more surprised by that than I am. It just goes to show how badly preconceptions can blind you if you have to be critical all the time. If because of that, I almost missed out on all this awesomeness. And it's not awesome because ninjas are cool. It's awesome because it's just legit cool. Because I can see how much the people who created it care. I can see their passion, and that's what makes it awesome. Because of the dedication I can feel oozing from every frame of this series, and its complete lack of filler episodes despite all odds, it makes it even better to binge watch, as the later seasons really do have that just one more episode vibe to it that makes you realize you haven't slept in 36 hours and you crapped your knickers multiple times, yet you just do not care. Really, it feels like this series exists basically just to give the middle finger to my foolish preconceptions, and I take no offense to that at all. I'm glad this series is giving me the finger. Hell, I'll even let it put its finger up my bumhole, just a little. That's how humbled I am by it. Okay, well, let's not go that far. I do have some criticisms to lay out for this thing, too. I said no. This isn't what it looks like. I mean, there's a perfectly logical explanation for this. So, it's clear that I've sucked this series' cock to a mirror shine, yes, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to comment on its genital warts while I do so. That's fucking disgusting, but anyway, one thing that definitely grizzles my gizzards is the fact that the plot resolutions for most of the seasons do follow the same formula a lot. It's usually bad guy collects a bunch of things to make a big bad thing happen that usually gets foiled by some other, usually ancient thing. Now, I wouldn't go so far as to call the series formulaic, since there is enough variety to keep things hot and spicy, but there's no denying that the ninja kind of suck at preventing things from escalating to near catastrophes all the damn time. Secondly, I do want to mention, for anyone new coming to the series, that the first two seasons are considerably weaker than the following ones. Oh, they're not terrible in any sense of the word, but they won't leave your pants stained with liquid enjoyment that the later seasons may. And thirdly, this series does seem to have immense trouble keeping its continuity straight. It's weird, considering how much attention is put into basically every other aspect of the show, but it's true. Things are often forgotten about for long periods of time, or they're just flat out retconned a whole bunch. As someone who values continuity in linear storytelling, this is kind of a major piss-off for me. In a lesser series, that may have been the final charge to send it to the chopping block. But in this case, I'm willing to spare the axe. I'll just give it a wee little smack on the head instead. Now then, with all of that critical fellatio out of the way, it's time to move on to my least favorite and favorite episodes, only with a little lemony twist this time around. Since the seasons are all strictly linear narratives, I find it impossible to narrow it down for my favorite and least favorite episode to just one single episode. Just can't do it, so instead I'm just going to tell you what my least favorite and favorite arcs are. And, well, if you don't like it, well,
I guess you can suck my tiny little balls.
With that being said, my least favorite arc is, without a doubt, the Mega Weapon arc from Season 2. In this arc, Lord Garmadon combines the 4 golden weapons of Spinjitzu into a Mega Weapon, which has the power to create anything the bearer desires. The annoying thing about this arc is that, while the rest of the series manages to avoid filler episodes and tropes, this arc is basically nothing but filler episodes and tropes, even going so far as to have a completely out-of-place, wacky races style episode for no real reason. Also, it really has a bad grasp on how time travel works. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's definitely the dullest arc of all. And now, ladies and gents and attack helicopters, it's time for my favorite arc of them all, and it would have to be the Possession arc from Season 5. And there are spoilers here, technically, so please keep that in mind if you haven't seen the show yet. In this arc, following on from the Tournament of Elements arc from Season 4, Sensei Wu's old student Moro, a master of wind, escapes from the Cursed Realm and possesses Lloyd. Moro uses Lloyd's body to try and obtain the Realm Crystal to bring a ghastly creature known as the Preeminent from the Cursed Realm into Ninjago. I fucking love this arc because it's about ghosts, it's got possession, it's got an interesting villain, Cole is a ghost, Nia trains to be a ninja, oh and did I mention Cole is a ghost? How do you make me love something? Take my favorite character, turn him into a ghost, and baby, you got a recipe for Gale Force pants jizzing, you do. LEGO Ninjago Masters of Spinjitzu is an exemplar in how to take a tired idea that seems doomed to mediocrity from the very outset and turn it into one of the most dynamic and impressive cartoons currently airing. Though it does suffer a little from repetition and a lack of hindsight in the end, it leaps straight into the sky with a bold, massive jump and quickly becomes one of the most shiny stars out there in the sky. And I think I speak to all of you when I say that I urge you to spin this splendid series straight into your heart. I give LEGO Ninjago Masters of Spinjitzu. Four eyes out of 5. So, LEGO Ninjago Masters of Spinjitzu. Is it watchable? Damn right it is. The camera work and visual fidelity only improve as the series goes on, so keep your eyes open, goddammit! Is it enjoyable? Oh, I don't know, have you been deaf this whole time? Is it memorable? No, that's hard to say. People don't really seem to talk about how memorable it is or how great it is, I mean, until they actually see it, so word of mouth hasn't really seemed to spread all that much. But that has to change. Consider me a fan. A fan of Ninjago, and I hope you all will join me and become fans too. Ninja kick! Fuck! No letter. Would you like to stay up to date on the latest EyeofSol news, as well as contribute directly to my channel? You can find my Twitter page, my Facebook page, and my link to my Patreon page there on the screen for you, as well as in the description. I update the Twitter and Facebook pages every day, so if you want to check out news on the show, as well as updates, just follow the links here.